Have you ever wondered why some older people who seemed perfectly fine just last year suddenly vanish? No dramatic illness, no tragic fall, just a slow, silent disappearance. They stop smiling, stop engaging, stop feeling, and before anyone realizes, they've faded quietly, invisibly, before reaching 82. It's not heart disease, it's not cancer, it's something far more overlooked. Something that begins not in the body, but in the soul. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 76, widowed for 3 years, sharp as a tack, and always the one bringing cookies to her church group. Then, one winter, she stopped coming. When her neighbor finally checked in, Margaret said, "I just don't feel like myself anymore. I don't really feel anything." 3 months later, she passed away. No major diagnosis, just emptiness. What happened to Margaret is happening to millions. They're not dying because their hearts stopped beating, they're dying because they've stopped feeling alive. You see, there's a vital part of health no one talks about. One that fuels your energy, your mood, your memory, even your desire to keep going. And the best part? You don't need pills, surgery, or a partner. Because the power is already inside you, waiting to be reawakened. If you're over 60 and you've ever whispered to yourself, maybe this is just what getting old feels like, please stay with me, because what you're about to discover could change not just how long you live, but how fully you feel alive again. Let me tell you about Harold. He was 74 when I met him. Retired electrician, war veteran, a man of few words but warm eyes. He used to ride his bike every morning, fix things around the neighborhood, always showed up early for his weekly veterans coffee group. He was the kind of man people said still had it for his age. But then one day, he stopped coming. At first, people thought it was the weather or that he was visiting family. But weeks passed, months. His garden turned wild, his house went quiet. When a friend finally checked in, Harold answered the door slowly, with a tired smile. "I'm fine," he said. But his eyes had lost their spark. As a doctor, I visited him at home. No major illness, vitals stable, blood work unremarkable. But Harold said something I'll never forget. "Doc, I wake up, eat a little, read the paper, watch the window. Then it's night again. Nothing hurts, but I don't feel alive either." What Harold described wasn't depression. It wasn't dementia. It was something else, something deeper. A gradual withdrawal from life, from his own body. No more walks, no more touch, no more sensation of being himself. And sadly, that's when the real decline began. Within a year, he was in assisted living. Within 2, he passed, not because his heart gave out, but because he had quietly given up. You see, Harold's story isn't rare. There are thousands like him, men and women whose health doesn't vanish all at once, but fades like a photograph left in the sun. And often, it starts not with illness, but with the loss of something much harder to notice, the feeling of being alive in their own skin. Harold's story, like so many others, leads us to a powerful truth, one that few dare to speak aloud. Physical pleasure is not a luxury, it's not a bonus, it's a lifeline, and yet, it's the very thing most seniors are silently taught to abandon. As we age, society begins to shrink us. We are told to be quiet, be careful, be content. We are praised for endurance, but rarely encouraged to still feel. But let me be clear, your body still remembers. Your skin still holds stories. Your nervous system still responds. And that quiet hum inside you, the one that once came alive from touch, warmth, intimacy, it's still there, just waiting. From a medical standpoint, the science is undeniable. When the body is regularly engaged in physical pleasure, whether through gentle touch, warm intimacy, or self-connection, it activates systems that keep us young. Blood flow increases to the brain and heart, reducing the risk of stroke and heart disease. Neural pathways tied to memory and mood stay active and resilient. Hormones like oxytocin and dopamine help protect against anxiety and depression. Even the immune system gets a boost. But beyond the biology, there is something even more essential: meaning. Pleasure reminds us we're still here, still worthy. It says this body matters. It anchors us to the moment, pulls us out of numbness, and reconnects us with joy. Not just sexual joy, but the deeper joy of being alive in your own skin. You don't need to be young to feel this. You just need to be willing to listen. To begin again, to trust that the body you've lived in for decades still has more to give. So if pleasure is essential, if it truly is a lifeline, why do so many seniors feel like it's no longer available to them? One reason is simple. No one ever told them that solo physical intimacy, especially masturbation, could be more than just acceptable. It could be life-saving. Let's strip away the old shame and speak with honesty. After 60, your body goes through profound changes. Circulation slows, muscle mass declines, hormone production decreases, and stress can rise silently in the background. But here's what research shows. Masturbation, when practiced gently and intentionally, can counteract many of these effects, naturally without medication. Here's what happens inside your body. Blood surges through your brain and heart, feeding tissue that might otherwise wither. Hormones like testosterone and oxytocin increase, boosting mood, preserving muscle and bone strength, and reducing anxiety. Endorphins are released, supporting better sleep and natural pain relief. The brain stays alert, activating pathways that support memory, creativity, and emotional balance. But the most powerful transformation is emotional. When an older adult engages in self-pleasure, they're doing more than stimulating nerves. They're sending a message to themselves. I still matter. I still feel. I am still here. This isn't about performance or chasing some peak experience. It's about presence. It's about rebuilding trust with your own body after years, sometimes decades, of silence. It's about turning down the noise of shame and turning up the volume of self-respect. And no, it's not too late. Your body may need more time, more tenderness, more breath. But it is capable and waiting for you to return. In the next part, I'll show you how to begin that return, step by step, through a method designed specifically for aging bodies, aching hearts, and the quiet longing to feel alive again. If solo pleasure is so powerful, so healing, why do so many older adults never explore it, or worse, quietly reject it? The answer lies in the shadow. A handful of deep-rooted myths have robbed millions of their right to feel, to connect, to live fully. These aren't just misunderstandings, they're quiet poisons, passed down in whispers, planted in shame, and wrapped in good intentions. The first myth is perhaps the most tragic. At my age, physical pleasure just doesn't matter anymore. This lie has kept countless seniors in emotional darkness. But here's the truth. Pleasure doesn't expire. Your body doesn't stop needing joy, only the world stops reminding you that it's allowed. The second myth cuts even deeper. Touching myself is wrong. Many grew up in households or faiths where self-pleasure was taboo. The guilt lingers like smoke, long after the fire of youth has burned out. But caring for your body, honoring its needs, isn't shameful. It's sacred. The third myth is dangerously deceptive. If I conserve my sexual energy, I'll stay stronger. Biologically, the opposite is true. When left unused, the systems tied to arousal, circulation, hormones, brain function, deteriorate faster. Like a garden without water, they wither. And finally, the most damaging myth of all. Sexual health has nothing to do with overall health. Modern science now tells us what our hearts always knew. Sexual vitality is woven into our immune system, our memory, our resilience, and even our will to live. Unchallenged, these myths strip away years of potential, of strength, of joy. But once you name them, you reclaim power. You open the door to a fuller, richer chapter, one that starts not with belief, but with action. So how do you begin? How do you reconnect with your body after years of silence? Let's take it one step at a time, gently, respectfully, together. How do you return to something you've quietly avoided for years? How do you awaken parts of yourself that feel distant, asleep, or forgotten? It doesn't begin with performance, it begins with presence. This isn't a medical routine, it's a ritual of reconnection. I call it the restoration method, and it's built specifically for aging bodies, aching hearts, and quiet longings. Let's walk through it gently, step by step. Step 1. Prepare a sacred space. Before you do anything physical, you must signal to your nervous system that it is safe to feel. Choose a private, quiet space. Dim the lights, warm the room, place a soft blanket, a comfortable pillow, and a high-quality lubricant nearby. These small choices are not decoration, they are declarations. This is your time. You are worthy of care. Step 2. Relax your body. Sit or lie down. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths. Let your shoulders fall. Feel your muscles soften, not because you're doing something sexy, but because you're doing something sacred. Let go of goals. Let go of judgment. Just breathe and feel the gentle rhythm of your own presence. Step 3. Reawaken forgotten sensations now. Gently place your hands on places you might have ignored for years. Your chest, your stomach, your thighs. Touch with curiosity, not urgency. Notice the texture of your skin, the temperature, the breath beneath it. There is no right response. Even a flicker of awareness is a sign. Your body is still listening. Step 4. Explore focus stimulation. If and when you feel ready, slowly begin to explore areas of arousal. Use slow, circular, responsive movements, not to reach a finish line, but to stay in connection with each sensation as it rises. This is not about climax, it's about contact. Each touch is a message. I trust you. You're not broken. You're still alive. Step 5. Integrate and honor the experience. When you feel complete, whether that's after 5 minutes or 30, place your hand over your heart. Breathe. Say thank you to your body, to your courage, to your willingness to return. You've done something few have the bravery to try. You've re-entered your own life. This method isn't a one-time fix. It's a practice, a kind, quiet rebellion against years of neglect. And every time you show up, even just a little, your body will begin to show up for you. In the next part, we'll talk about the common challenges many face on this path and how to overcome them with patience, clarity, and self-compassion. Even with a method as gentle and personal as the restoration method, the journey back to your body isn't always smooth. That's okay. Real healing rarely follows a straight line. What matters isn't perfection, it's persistence. The first barrier many people face is expectation. They imagine they'll feel what they felt at 30. And when they don't, disappointment creeps in. But your body has changed. That's not failure, it's wisdom. You're not here to perform, you're here to reconnect. The second challenge is inconsistency. You try once, then forget or life gets in the way, but think of this like watering a plant. You don't flood it once and hope it blooms. You tend to it gently, often, even 10 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week can start to awaken powerful shifts. Another barrier is pressure, the need to get somewhere, to achieve something. But pressure activates stress, and stress shuts pleasure down. Instead, train achievement for curiosity. Let each session be an exploration, not a task. And finally, the most stubborn obstacle, shame. That quiet old voice that whispers, "This is wrong, this isn't for someone your age." If that voice appears, don't fight it. Just answer gently, "I am allowed to feel. I am allowed to heal. My body is still mine." Because it is. And the more you return to it with softness and patience, the more it will return to you. So here we are. You've walked through silence, through shame, through science, sensation, and self-rediscovery. And maybe for the first time in a long time, you're beginning to realize something powerful. Your story isn't over. Your body isn't done. Aging doesn't mean fading, it means evolving, and you have every right to evolve with grace, with connection, and with joy. This journey is not about becoming who you used to be. It's about becoming fully alive in who you are right now. Your breath still flows, your skin still feels, your heart still longs. So give it permission to feel, to awaken, to reclaim the spark that was never lost, only quieted. If this message stirred something in you, leave a candle emoji in the comments. Let it be your first spark. And if you're ready for more, hit subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. You are not too late. You are right on time. And if you've made it this far, it means something inside you is waking up. Maybe a memory, maybe a quiet longing, maybe the simple truth that you are not done yet. So don't stop here. This is just one piece of the puzzle. A reconnection with yourself. But what about those we once shared intimacy with? The partners who now feel like strangers. The hands we used to hold, now folded in distance. In the next episode, we'll explore something just as powerful. How couples can reconnect after years of silence, without shame, without pressure, and with a love that's wiser than ever before. Because healing isn't just personal, it's shared. And you both still deserve that. Subscribe. Turn on the bell, and take the next step in your journey back to connection. Together.